Hello there. You're watching Nacho Television from Ankara, Turkey. My name is Sauda Mganga. Welcome to a news session. Starting our news from Idlib town in Syria, a twin car bombing killed 9 people and injured 37. Mustafa Haj Yusuf, the director of White Helmet Civil Defense Agency, said both explosions occurred in Idlib's Kusuru district. After people arrived at the scene following the first blast, a second car bomb went off in the same area. He also added that the 3 helmets died in the same injury, responded and have been among the victims. According to Haji Yusuf, buildings and vehicles near the blast were sight and damaged by the twin explosions. On Monday, US President Donald Trump issued an ultimatum to members of Venezuela's military who continue to back President Nicolas Maduro, but insisted that Washington continues to seek a peaceful transition of power. Addressing the Venezuelan American community in Miami, Florida, Trump held out an offer to members of Venezuelan military as its leadership to help forge a safe and prosperity future for all the people of Venezuela. But he also warned that those who continue to support Maduro will be given to quarter. If you choose this path, you will find no safe harbor to ease exit or no way out. He also said you will lose everything to the Venezuelan people. The president continued to insist that all options are open to address the ongoing crisis in Venezuela, but called on members of Venezuela's military to not follow Maduro's orders to block humanitarian aid, and you must not threaten any form of violence against peaceful protesters. The opposition leader, members of the National Assembly, and the Guaidoan president and his family. The US has also been supporting Juan Guaido, the leader of Venezuela's National Assembly, who declared himself interim president on the January 23rd. But Maduro has staunchly resisted calls from the opposition leader and his supporters to seize power, insisting his government is the target of coup in Washington. Trump's national security advisor, John Bolton, said last week that the US would lift sanctions of military officials who recognize Guaido as the legitimate leader of the country. But most of Venezuela's military has continued to back Maduro among ongoing instability in the Latin American nation, and Venezuela has been blocked by protesters since January 10th, when Maduro was sworn in for the second term following a boycott by the opposition. Guaido has also called Venezuelans to take the streets in a bid of out Maduro from power through popular pressure, and said in the videotape remark delivery that Venezuela's expatriates in Miami are the country in current facing a choice between democracy and dictatorship. It also said we must take advantage of this opportunity. The moment is now for change in Venezuela, with determination and pressure from within Venezuela. With the peaceful mobilization and international cooperation, it will allow Venezuela to become free and friendly to everyone. Heading to Turkey, the issues of warrant for soldiers of FETÖ-linked suspects are active duties and accused of communicating with FETÖ members through payphones. Turkey is seeking over 50 serving soldiers across the nation for the suspected links to the Fethullah terrorism organization known as FETÖ, the group behind 2016 defeated coup d'etat. Judicial sources said on Tuesday that Istanbul Chief Public Prosecutor's Office issued the warrants for 53 active duty soldiers who are accused of communicating with FETÖ members in the Turkish armed forces. Police launched Stimtela operations in 15 provinces, including Istanbul, for the suspects working for the branch of Turkish Armed Forces, as well as Land, Air and Naval Forces Command. The police also hunt the suspect is ongoing across the country. According to the Turkish government, FETÖ is also still US-based leader Fethullah Gulen defeated the coup on 2016, which left 2,051 people killed and nearly 2,200 injured. In Ankara also accused FETÖ of being behind the long-running campaign of throwing overstate through infiltration of Turkish institutions, particularly the military and police and judiciary. Let's head to Africa. An explosion rocked Egypt's capital Cairo last Monday when a man blew himself. His man blew himself with a Al-Qad mosque, local media reported. At least 2 police officers were killed and another 2 were injured in the suicide attack in the Al-Hari neighborhood. The Interior Minister said in the statement that the blast occurred after the police surrounded the suspect following a case, according to the report by local news site in Egypt today. Security forces identified the attacker as Al-Hassan Abdullah, who is 37 years, who resided in the old neighborhood of Egypt. The suspect was alleged involved in attacking Giza government last Friday, in which an improved explosive devices was planted near the mosque, and the ministry also said Al-Zahi, the highest seat of learning in the Sunni Islamic world, condemned the attack in a statement earlier on Tuesday. It stressed that the security officials who were tackling the suspect prevented a large attack from taking place, but Egyptian's Mufti office also condemned the attack, noting the terrorist organization was uncomfortable with the country's security and stability. Both institutions wished God's mercy on those who died and offered condolences to their relatives. In Egypt's Prosecutor General Nabil Sadeh launched an investigation on the attack. In Tunisia, 1,000 terrorists returned to Tunisia's city after 7 years. Tunisia's Center for Global Security Studies said Monday that thousands of terrorists had returned to the country from conflict zones from 2011 to October from 2018. Mukhar Ben Nasir, head of the center's executive committee, told reporters that Tunisia authorities have prevented 17,000 people from leaving the country for conflict zones, such as Syria, Iraq, and Libya. He said the total number of Tunisians in the conflict zones was 3,000, adding many of them had died and some of them had fled various regions to find safe havens. Many terrorists have returned to their country in secret ways. Nasir stressed that the number of terrorists in the mountains of Tunisia have been greatly reduced. 2 weeks ago, a terrorist group of 4 had returned to the country upon the request of Tunisian authorities. He also said, Nasir adding, members of the group are currently going through the judicial process. The discussion was raised after US President Donald Trump urged European states late on Saturday to take back hundreds of foreign Daesh terrorists captured in Syria and prosecute them. The United States is asking Britain, France, and Germany and other European allies to take over 1,000 ISIS fighters that captured in Syria and put them on trial. Trump also said on Twitter, using another name for Daesh, a caliphate is ready to fall. The alternate is not a good one, but that will force to raise them. In Turkey, we invest $32 million for Turkish Stream in 2019. Turkish government will spend total 217 million liras for Turkish Stream natural gas pipeline section on Turkish soil. Turkey plans to invest 122 million Turkish liras in 2019, equivalent to around 23 million for the land section on Turkish soil of the Turkish Stream gas pipeline, according to the government 2019 investment plan released on Monday. According to the official announcement, the Turkish government will spend a total of 217 million liras for the project in the Turkish soil. In 2018, the country invested around 95 million liras for the project, and this year aims to invest more than 122 million liras. The Turkish Stream's first line, which will carry Russian gas to Turkey for the country's use, it is also set 100% completed with the construction of 69 kilometers long land section. The pipeline plans to be up to running late 2019, and the project has total capacity of 31.5 billion cable meters, out of which the first line will carry a capacity of 15 to 75 billion cable meters Russian gas to Turkish consumers. The second line, which will carry another 15.75 billion cubic meters of gas to Europe, is expected to route from Turkey through Bulgaria, then Serbia, Hungary, and Slovakia. Continuing our news to Iraq, yesterday the northern Kurdish elected a member of the Kurdistan Democratic Party as interim speaker of Idlib-based Kurdish parliament. Vala Ferit won the endorsement of the 64 out of 76 parliamentarians, where her competitor, Sifan Salim of the New Generation Movement, clinched only on 8. MPs representing the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, which is the second largest political party in the region, walked out of the session after the Kurdistan Democratic Party turned down their request for the appointment of a Patriotic Union Kurdistan member of the governmentship of Kirkuk. We also take our news heading to Turkey. The Turkish ruling party's candidate for mayor of Istanbul resigned as he announced at a farewell dinner, leaving his post as parliament speaker yesterday. Binali Yildirim, the ruling Justice and Development Party, as the candidate for mayor of Istanbul in the March 31st election, said in a dinner yesterday, "I think that he's done to be submitted his resignation petition to the Grand National Assembly," adding that he will be handing over the reins to the Istanbul lawmaker Celal Adana as the oldest deputy speaker and the last Turkish premier since July 2018 under a parliamentary system. The tragedy befell relatives of workers in the western Turkey, Miras, a province of Muğla. They are trapped in a field-span open-pit mining site following a landslide. They are await the research and secure operations continuing near the coastal town. One worker was reported dead in the landslide, and the search is still going on. Following the current update on the migrants trying to enter Turkey, yesterday we update you more than 46 regular migrants were held in southwestern region of Turkey. Officials say they were illegally trying to cross the European side, passing through Muğla in Turkey, the province of Turkey. In Doha this morning, the Qatar's Minister of Transport and Communications received the head of Turkey's state-run postal service, Jasmine Yasef Ahmed Al-Sulaid, together with Postal Service Director General Kenan Bozgeyik, discussed aspects of cooperation between the two countries in the fields of postal services. Also added that the meeting also focused on a number of matters of common interest between the two brother countries. Attending the meeting was the Turkish ambassador to Qatar, Fikret Ozer, and Qatar Post Chairman and Managing Director Fahle Mohammed Al Nahyan. They're also remembering President Tayyip Erdogan's speech that he said last month, saying that Turkey's cooperation with Qatar will continue to strengthen in various sectors, including defense, trade, tourism, and energy. Erdogan also added that the partnership between the two countries is based on a win-win model. The European Bank of Reconstruction and Development has provided a 100 million Turkish lira loan, equivalent to $18 million, to Turkish non-performing loan management firm Hayak Valik. Hayak Valik could use the loan to buy new distressed portfolios from local lenders and financial institutions. It also said that the bank has also provided the company with 120 million Turkish liras, equivalent to $22 million in loan, and has mobilized 60 million Turkish lira parallel to financing from ICBC in Turkey. In our short sports news yesterday, Saudi Arabia denied reports that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was planning to buy Premier League giants Manchester United. The British club also held a meeting with Saudi Public Investment to discuss sponsorship opportunities, while the Prince added no deal has been materialized since then. The British newspaper The Sun earlier claimed, also reported, that bin Saleh was negotiating to take over Manchester United for £3.8 billion. Ending our news with fun from China yesterday, there was tofu festival in the city of Guinea-Yuana. People threw tofu at each other as a traditional festival in that village. On that day, people throw tofu to each other for those who need to be blessed and pray for peace. Tofu is also food made from soya milk. It is a food made from soya milk, and it is a traditional component of East Asian and South Asian cuisines, which has been consumed in China for over 2,000 years. And it is still going through. Thank you so much for watching. It's your Natural Television News with me, Sauda Muganga, from Ankara in Turkey.